I could talk to you all day. I really could. The end
We're
of the
not even
trail,
out
but
of
before we get to
Georgia.
the end, before we get to the end, something else changed in your life that I do know about that I kind of want to make sure we get into the story. You had a surprise visitor one evening.
Oh, wait, are we talking about the end?
The end.
So, okay, so much happened in between that.
There's
Even
so much, like we could talk about bears, we could talk about Bigfoot.
A whole
but
other year
I don't
went
want to.
by.
We'll be all night if we go there.
We'll get there. Give me 1 second. A whole other year goes by. I'm hiking up north by myself without B-Man. I'm getting into all kinds of trouble because why wouldn't I? I'm so much fun. Joe Cool. Woo!
Queen of the forest.
So I'm up in Maine. Couldn't tell you exactly where, but I was hiking with like 7 or 8 guys at that time, and we're camped one night, and they're all under my tarp. I have this 11 by 7 foot tarp, right? And all of them are sleeping under my tarp. And in the middle of the night, I wake up because I hear all this rustling. And I'm like, and we're close to a town. We were close to a town. So I wake everyone up. I'm like, someone's in our camp. Someone's trying to steal our shit. Everyone wake up. And then I turn and look and I see lights coming through. And I'm like, hold on, they might be hikers. Like, and then this cowboy hat dips down under the tarp. And I hear a voice say, honey, I'm home. And I was like,
7 guys.
Holy shit, it's B-Man. It's B-Man. So I get out of the tarp, and then all of these guys have to, they all get out with their tails between their legs, oh, it was raining. They didn't want to set up their tents. So they all had to get out and go set up their tents. And they're all like, oh, I guess B-Man's here. We all have to leave, which they did.
Yes, you do.
Which they did. And then we ended up finishing that hike together, which included the 100-mile wilderness, where we really tested the bounds of our relationship during that, because that was, we ran out of food in the 100-mile wilderness. And we had 60 miles to go.
A little hangry.
Yeah. So we did great. We really did. We got to the end of the 100-mile wilderness. My dad met us at Able Bridge. We hiked, the 3 of us, me, B-Man, and my dad, the finishing mountain of the trail. It's Mount Katahdin. So we all summited together. And at the summit is where B-Man proposed. And
here you are.
Here I am.
It's amazing. I know we had to get to that point, and I feel like we rushed so much. And again, we never even got to take questions. And if anybody has questions, I know a lot of people here actually know you. Maybe they want to put you on the spot, but we don't really want to go there.
I saw Plan B's name in there, though. Or I didn't see his name, but I know that that's him with the
Plan B is definitely in here. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Plan B was
thanks for joining us.
He is my best friend on the trail.
That was one of my final questions. You gave a lot to do the trail. You gave up a life. You changed your life. What did the trail give to you? When you're home, right now, looking back, what did the trail give to you? Because you've mentioned friends and family and B-Man, and what else? Or what are all the things that it did for you?
Oh, everything. Everything. Yes, it gave me people. It gave me people for sure. It also gave me understanding of myself. And I don't know. I think you had asked me before, what's it like coming back off the trail? And honestly, it sucks. It sucks because you're going from ultimate freedom back into reality, which you've just ejected yourself from, right? And you've reset your mind, and you're in such a good place, and then you have to go back into it. And the hardest part, but it's the most important part, is not forgetting who you were on the trail and bringing that with you and living that way in real life, meaning you're hiking your own hike. You are empathetic to your fellow hiker because you're all traveling the same journey. You're all tripping over the same rocks and stumbling over the same logs. It's like, it's having this mentality that you've lived so real on the trail and bringing it back to reality and making that your reality every day, regardless of the trail that you're walking, whether it's the city or it's the suburbs or you're on the corporate, the corporate ladder or whatever it is. You just keep the wholesome goodness that you had to sit with yourself with, right?
You're amazing. You're amazing. I mean, I know you had a lot of time to think about this, but yeah, it's amazing. I love every word you're saying. And I think if there are people out there wondering if they should go, it sounds like maybe if you're thinking that thought, maybe you should at least give it a try. I don't know what's some final advice if somebody's interested in going out on a trail the first time. What's some advice you would give them? Just starting points. Like what do they need to know? What do they need to bring? What's that going to look like? You
call me and you call B-Man. That's where you start. 100%.
Okay. We will get if you come to us, we'll get you put in touch.
I mean, anyone, all I did was walked into an REI and asked the first person that I saw. And my recommendation for anyone who wants to do it is go get fitted for a backpack. Start there. Get fitted for a backpack because that's all you need. It's the things that you choose to carry.
What's something you carried with you that you will carry with you for the rest of your life?
Physically?
Yeah.
I learned how to play the ukulele while I was hiking.
Oh. You love it?
And I carried one.
That counts. That is amazing. No. That ukulele will be with you forever.
Yeah. Some things that I hope are with other people. That's a really deep question, and I'm going to get silly on this for a second. So
go.
If someone were to ever ask me for a cigarette on the trail, like, hey, you got to smoke. Can I have a smoke? My response would be 2 rocks and a stick. Meaning that if they wanted a cigarette off of me, then I got to pick up 2 rocks and 1 stick that they would have to carry for the rest of their hike. And there were people who asked me quite a few times for a cigarette, and I gave them many different size rocks and sticks. So like, you want a cigarette? It's 2 rocks and a stick. And they took it. I'm curious if they still have them. If they were like, oh, these were the rocks and sticks Joe Cool gave me so I could smoke cigarettes.
Like, did you do it? And do you still have it? That's great. I would love to find out. If anybody has kept their twigs and berries, please let us know. No, that's wonderful. Like, I also like that, like, there's a cost to it. You got to pay something. I don't want your money, but there's a cost. Like, like it's small little thing, but think about what you're asking me to give up too a little bit.
That's some good advice though. Hold on. That's some good advice. It's not free or cheap to hike the trail. No, you said you were putting a cost to something.
Yeah.
And that's something that I did is before you do it, save as much money as you can. I think when I went out the first time, I had maybe $2,000 saved up. I ran out of money before I got to New York.
Was that hand money or was that like to pay for like back home expenses, like a car loan or
no, not back home expenses. That's expenses to live. So, I'm only carrying enough food for like 5 days. So every 5 days I got to get into town and resupply. That's a lot of money. And then of course, like you're going to want to drink beer. Every time you go into town, you're going to want to eat more and more and more. Your food bag gets heavier and heavier. The more calories you need, the farther you go. It gets more expensive. You got to replace your boots. There's no way 1 pair of boots is getting you from Georgia to Maine. Like at some point, your shoes are just going to be done. It usually happens in Pennsylvania. But
welcome to PA, the Keystone State.
It's rocky.
So, hey, we got to have you back because there's a lot more stories that we have to get to. I know there are. I've heard a few You're an amazing storyteller. Your ability to keep on thread from beginning to end of the trail has succeeded where all of us have thrown you off, but you've kept us on the way of the trail. You are a master trail and storyteller. I hope and sincerely hope that someday you write a book and let the world know, because you have so much good to put back in the world that I want to hear about.
And read it, do an audio version, because you're very animated. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for trusting me to come on here. I know this isn't something you're used to doing, so thank you.
Definitely not. This is my first time on podcasts.
Podcast, show, interview. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
We just
no, that wasn't for you. Sorry, that was a laugh because I have not done some things. Anyway, we'll move on.
Oh yeah, we're technically not.
It's great.
We haven't podcasted anything. We're a video show and live broadcast. We will be a podcast someday, but we're having fun doing this.
Do you want to hear one final story?
Yes, please. It's your time. I'm trying to we can go all night, but
more than I want to breathe fresh air. Absolutely.
Thank you, Elliot.
I'm not.
Thank you.
This one. Okay, I'm gonna tell it. It's gonna be great. Okay, so Sasquatch, right? I was on.
I'm all in. Let's go.
Thousands of miles. Okay, so Sasquatch. I never saw him personally. However,
is it gotta be him, guys?
Are you ready for this? There was a time me and B-Man, we were hiking with a couple guys. I'm not gonna say their names. So we're hiking with these guys. One of these guys we see in town, and he's at the post office, and he just had a package delivered to this town. And he opens the package, and it's a freaking gorilla suit, right? It's but it's legit looking. So he has this gorilla suit, and he's like, you two are the only people who know that I have this, and I'm gonna get someone, and you're gonna see. So we're like, all right, dude, we're the only people who know. So a couple months later, we're at trail days. And me and B-Man and we had already been told at this point by another dude that this guy with the gorilla suit he was like, I'm about to do this to this guy, and did it. We're at trail days. This guy comes under me and B-Man's tarp. He's like, Joe Cool, B-Man, I need advice. I think I saw something, and I don't know how to tell anyone, and I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. And he's dead serious. We were also tripping pretty hard at this point. However, he's telling us, he's like, I saw Sasquatch. And I can't tell anyone else. I'm so afraid no one's going to believe me, but I saw, he was there, right there. I was with this guy whose name actually is Forrest. We'll talk about him. I was with Forrest, and
Forrest Gump.
We saw him. We saw him, and he was right there. And he's telling us this, and we're sitting there
tripping.
As one does.
We believe you. We believe you. That's what we kept telling him. We believe you.
Why would you lie about that?
We never told him, and we never told him, and nobody ever told him. This guy ended up getting off the trail a month later. I hope
to God he's here and he's finding out right now. Oh my God.
He had no idea. And to this day, unless he's watching this, or if he watches this someday, and that's going to be his saving grace, or it's going to be the most terrible thing that ever happens. We'll see.
But you say he left the trail.
He left the trail. That doesn't mean he didn't leave the universe. He could still watch.
No, but would he be upset? Did he leave the trail because he thought Bigfoot was going to kill him, and that's why it ruined his whole hike?
Possibly.
I hope.
Hey, Plan B, if you're still here, can you send a text out to somebody? You and I both know we go way back. Yeah, and tell them to come onto the show right now.
Bigfoot.
Is there a term for doing the trail with the sole intent of fucking a Sasquatch?
Yeah. Oh. I think that's called brown.
Brown blazing.
Blazing?
Just looking for a Sasquatch to nail.
The old BB is what we call it, JD.
Brown blazing.
Yep. The old brown blazing.
Do you run into people who aren't necessarily doing the whole trail, but they're on it as part of a Sasquatch or other type of cryptid hunt?
Oh yeah, it has to. I'm sorry, cryptid hunt. Oh man, you're throwing some
Yeah, man.
new terms in there. Yeah.
You know what? Yes, but I don't know. I've met much weirder people than that. Like there's much
now
weirder,
we're stopping
there's
everything. What's
there's
weirder?
much stranger people
What's
out
weirder?
there than cryptid hunters. Like
Give us your
I
weirdest shot. First, top of mind,
Let's
weirdest
go.
shot.
Let's go.
Oh,
This is
Go on the
man.
bonus material for Patreon.
Oh, I have two. I have two. One of them's really creepy, and one of them is just weird.
We're gonna find out what
Just weird,
green
dude.
blazing is, boys. Let's strap in.
Have a great one. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Be safe out there. Treat each other well.